Alright, this is going to be the tutorial on how to use gradients to do the coloring for your vector drawings for your personal design. But like the way we're going to be doing this, it's going to be very similar to how we did the vector portraits, except you won't be so complicated with all of the different layers. So under your layers window, you want to lock your outline layer. So this should be the outline of your image. You originally have your original picture here, but at this point now you shouldn't need the original image anymore. So you have your line work now to work with. So I'm just going to work on just the face for now. So what you want to do is I'm going to delete this. You're going to create a new layer below the outline, because you want your outline to be on the very top, and tell this your color layer. So you want to have a color layer and your outline layer. And under the color layer, you're going to, I'm going to make this a regular color. So you can just use any kind of color for the skin tone or whatever you want to color, because you can always change it later. But I'm just going to retrace my drawing again. But this time I'm just going to have just the vector, not the outline. So you're going to have just the fill and have the stroke be crossed out. Alright, so you're just going to trace, take your time with the tracing, and you're just going to trace around the area that you want to color. Yeah, I got to take my time with this. So, just real important, zoom in and, move the picture around if you need. If you play around with those different line weights, you play around with those different line weights like I told you, in some areas it's going to make the tracing a lot easier, because now you have those areas where the lines are a bit thicker, and just trace around it. Just make sure that you take your time with the tracing. Now there are some areas where if you trace it too much, like right here, I kind of messed up there. I can go back and fix that. But just take your time, trace all the way around, and and then it should color the entire picture if you did it correctly. So I'm just gonna do this real quickly. If you do it quickly like this, or you mess up on some parts, you can always fix and adjust it using the direct selection tool. Alright, so just trace it all the way around. So I'm just going to get the alright, so yeah, I'm just going to trace that part. Alright, it looks pretty good, except for this part here. Now if you want to fix any of those areas where you colored it too much, use the direct selection tool. Just click on it and click on the points just to fix it. Well, looks like it doesn't really fix it there. Yeah, you just kind of play around with it until you can get it the way you want it. So there we go. Now it's all fixed. Alright, so now we have that area colored in. Alright, just the face and the neck. So now I want to use a gradient for this picture. So you're going to use the selection tool, select the area that you colored in, and well, we're not going to use the gradient just yet, but you're going to go to Windows, Swatches, and right now we've just been using the default swatch and print, but this time I want you to click on where it says gradients. Okay, and there's a lot of different types of gradients that you can use. There's some for earth tones, fruits and veggies, seasons. Okay, so you want to find the gradient that would work best for what area you want to color in. And to be honest, some of those, oh, I just realized oh no, it looks fine. Is it? Yeah, it looks fine. Alright. For this one, I feel like the skin tones would probably make most sense with that. So you're gonna go gradient, skin tones, and you're gonna have a couple different options for skin tones. So I'm just gonna use this one right here. But if you click on it and you have the gradients window open, so you can go Windows, Gradient, to open that. You can see the gradients that are being used for the picture. So if I click on this picture, click on the gradients, it'll give me an idea of what colors I want to use. So let's just say I want to use this color here. Okay, so once you determine what kind of color you want to use, then you're going to control the gradient. So let's just say if I wanted like the light source to come from up here. So just like imagine this is the sun. It's kind of like the other example we looked at before. Now to fix that, you're going to click on the gradient window, and one thing we got to do is we got to change that angle. So you're going to click on this right here, and I would just play around with the arrow keys. You can set it to specific arrows, but this kind of allows you to visually see like the changes. So it's kind of like going left and right, but now I want it to go at a diagonal, just to play around with like the light sources. Or you know what? Just so there's light in his face, I'm going to put the light source the other way. So this. Oops. Okay, so I'm going to click this image, click that tab, and I'm just going to move it all the way around so the light's in front of his face. Okay, so now you got the light in his face, and if you want, you can push the shadows even further. Like if you look at the gradient here, it's controlling that gradient on that side. So I can make the face a little bit darker, or if I want to, I can add another color here. And add another color, I basically just drag this over here because that's like my mid-tone, and I clicked in and created another gradient here. So I can double click on that color, and I can kind of control this. Shows a better way to pull a better swatch. Alright, but I'm pulling the swatch here, and if I want to, I can create a new color here. Maybe I might want to give like a yellow sun to it. So now I have like this yellow here, just to create like more of like a highlight. And whoops, accidentally created a gradient there. Just be careful with where you click, because sometimes you can create additional gradients. But now I'm adding more of like a yellow highlight to the face. Alright, but there's a lot of different ways you can play around with the coloring. So after you're done coloring one of the gradients, then you would move on to the next part. Just take your time, trace around the entire area. I'm gonna work on his hair next. Oops, I'm just gonna keep it as a solid color, just so it doesn't mess with the way that I'm looking at it. Alright, so I'm just going to trace it all the way around like I did before. And this time I'm just doing the color from my hair. You don't got to worry about, having each area that you're coloring in a different layer. We're actually coloring this a different way. We're using gradients instead of having each individual vector be a shadow. So you don't really need to, create each area that you're coloring as a separate layer. This project's a little bit more simplistic with the coloring in general. So now I'm done with the hair, and again I'm going to go to the gradients, or go to my swatches, and it looks like I have some of these gradients I had opened before, but you're going to go to gradient, and I would find like a gradient that's I guess more darker. So let's try stone and brick. Just find something that you like. You can always change these colors. If I want to like have more of like a black here, that's fine too. I gotta change the angle again. So just using the arrows to change the angle. I gotta actually push this dark a little bit more. Okay, it's on the very bottom the page, so it's gotta go like a complete 180 for it to make sense. Alright, so this is kind of like the correct angle here. So if you click on this one and that one, if you want to match angles, this one's at 169, so I want to get this to 169 as well. So that's the same angle, and I can push the blacks a little bit more, stretch it. So you just gotta play around with the gradients so you get something that you like. Just a general rule though with your gradients. I probably wouldn't do more than 3 gradients. So if you have like too many gradients, you can also play around with the top here. This is controlling more of that gradual change from that dark to light. If you have more than 3 points, then it's kind of a lot of spaces that you're creating for the gradient. Oh, I don't want to add the blue. Maybe I might want to use that same yellow for like the hair. So I think that looks pretty good. If I wanted this to be like this, the color of the sun, I'll try to find this yellow. Let's just say I just wanted to just use this yellow. I didn't even want any gradients there. That would look pretty good for that. All right.